Right before I decided to, start this live, I started feeling a little like anxious energy, kind of felt like anxiety. I don't think it's my own energy. I don't really have any reason to feel anxious other than I need to be getting ready for work, well, getting out of here to go to work. So this is going to be a quicker reading, but I'm definitely picking up some anxious anxiety like energy. Okay. So let's see what that's about. If we can, do something about that. So it is March 12th, 2026. And it's a beautiful, lovely day. I feel like I'm like back on track. I got a little bit of rest last night, as I stated in yesterday's recording or yesterday's Facebook Live that I did. I said that's what I wanted to get done last night, and I did. So if you didn't know, yesterday was my birthday, and I celebrated by taking it easy. Sometimes that's what is needed. Just take it easy. When you're a grown adult with responsibilities and the stressors of life, a day just to kind of relax and, you know, say, I'm not available. I'm not available and mean it and be okay with it. No explanation. Just I'm not available. I'm prioritizing, self care right now. That's what I did yesterday, and I'm glad I did that. Very beneficial. I'm just sharing the video real quick because I have an appointment very soon, and the weather it's rainy. Got a little tornado warning here. I'm still getting birthday wishes on Facebook, so I need to respond to those too. I got an awesome shout out from my gym teacher from ninth grade. It's so funny because Mr. Colick was like the dopest gym teacher ever. I used to give him a hard time because, that was just me at that season of my life, a rebel with a cause. I didn't like getting dressed for gym in the what is it, the locker room or whatever. So I would put my gym clothes on top of my school clothes and come out on the gym floor all bulky looking. And Mr. Collins be like, "Now, Marissa." I'm like, "What, Mr. Collins?" And he'd always give me a hard time about it. And I was just like, you know, petty back then. I was like, look, if I'm getting in trouble, I don't want to participate. So I wouldn't participate. And in the birthday shout out, he was saying how you look at her page now, she's about fitness and working out and all that type of stuff. Cause that's me. I love it. I was naturally an athlete back then. And if I wanted to actually play basketball that year at that school I went to, was a Votech school. But if Mr. Collick was the basketball coach, the girls basketball coach, I would have most definitely, played. But it was as a Caucasian man, Mr. Kwan. He was a little pervert, out of pocket. He was one of my teachers. I think like history or something in that lane, social studies. I forgot what subject. But I sat in the front of his class and used to make inappropriate comments about my apparel, my attire. Okay, maybe I was a little, shorts with short with my skirts and shorts and stuff, but as a teacher, I think he could have addressed that a little bit better than he did. So that's why he was the girls basketball coach, and he made me feel uncomfortable, and that's why I didn't ball back then. I was nice though in the neighborhood. I was nice, but gym. I'm gonna share that video on my Marissa Black page because later on, as an adult, the world's so small. I ended up doing his daughter's hair. His wife and daughter used to come to my house. And when I was in the salon suite in Delaware, he would come to the salon suite. But I used to braid her hair, and Miss Mari, she did not like wearing braids. She always wanted to wear her little silk presses and wear her. So I would do that. We would switch back and forth. Mom would give in sometimes and let me flat iron her hair. But we did braids most of the time, flat twists. We did some really cute styles on her back in the day. But shout out to the Colic family. I miss y'all. Good people for sure. And thanks again for the birthday wishes. So yeah, with that being said, thank you to everybody. Excuse me, okay, from Facebook, Instagram, on my timeline, in my DMs, the text messages, the phone calls. Even though I didn't want to, be in the mix and be bothered like that yesterday, my sister was like, "So you don't feel like work or family?" I was like, "Yeah, neither. I love you though." So that's where I was at yesterday. But yeah. With that being said, I still appreciate everybody who took time out of their day to send me some birthday love. All right, so we got number 14, inner strength here. The yellow, we got the solar plexus chakra energy been popping, here lately. All right, so what am I getting here? Inner strength number 14 sums to 5 right now. Confidence, high self-esteem is necessary. I'm not sure what's going on, you know, in someone's life, but I'm definitely getting, the need to feel good about yourself. It could be, starting with externally how you look. Y'all know my saying that experience black, beautiful looks always created kindly. When you look good, you feel good. So if that means a trip to the barber shop, get a nice haircut, get cleaned up. The weather is warming up. Want to look good. For the ladies, get in that shampoo bowl, get cleaned up, and get a nice new style or refresh your look or whatever. You know, I'm always here for that. I have a birthday wish list that I'm promoting all for the month of March. It's in the description box. Um, from Patreon, but it's also on my link tree. Okay, so anybody that want to show some love, show some support, I have all the links there for my for all my social media pages, where you can leave reviews, free birthday gifts that I greatly appreciate, that type of stuff. So there's different options for showing some birthday love. Okay. All right. So we got another solar plexus chakra card here with soul healing number 35, which sums to 8. Okay. So there may be some emotions coming to surface, I'm hearing, with another yellow. We're just going to take this. Okay. We got personal power number 13. So we got 13 and 14 here. And this has been coming up all week. Okay. And all of our living to die and dying to live readings. Okay. So with this energy, this inner strength, soul healing, and personal power here, there is a message that taking some time to recharge, to potentially spend some time in Mother Nature, getting some good old natural, holistic vitamin D, from the sun, from the sky. It's been sunny all week. It's like I said, it's a little dark and rainy today. Who knows what the later on will bring? But I know me, like I was feeling a little restless earlier this week, and I know that I haven't been getting time outside, lately because I've been just consumed with work and things that I know I need to get done and all that. So I hadn't been getting outdoor time outside of work, and I could tell. I was like, yeah, I need to get grounded, and get some time in nature. So I didn't get to the park like I wanted to because I knew it was going to be crowded, but I did sit at the library in my favorite spot to soak up the sun until it set. I did a little reading the other day while I did that, and it was pretty beautiful. But, what I'm getting here is if you're looking to recharge, to, reboost your confidence, something as simple as that could be, the first step towards that. Taking time, like I said, to do some self-care, some personal care, some grooming, like when I say grooming, I'm talking about shave if you need to, style your hair, clean up, put on a little bit of makeup or whatever, for the ladies, of course. Um, do something good for yourself. And if, I know life is real. For some people I ain't even gonna front over here. I'll share my story. Okay, so, funds may be tight, where I can't necessarily pay someone for these services, so thank God I know how to do them for myself. But, yesterday I put my good hair on, my lashes and makeup, and I didn't go nowhere, but that was for me. I did that for me. So manicure my nails and my feet and everything, pedicure, just clean them up. Ain't no crazy spa um treatment or nothing. Just, when I look at my hands and my feet, I'm like, okay, they look clean and healthy. So that's what's important to me. Same thing with my hair. So, and my skin. So if I'm not able to go to the esthetician and get, a facial, or the nail salon and get a mani and pedi, or the hair salon and get my hair done, just making sure that, it's clean and healthy is good enough for me. That lets me know or reminds me that I'm taking good care of myself in that way. And it helps me to feel better, So that's for somebody, that could be, like I said, a first step. We know Oprah always says, the next best step. Okay. What's the next best decision? I took that wholeheartedly a long time ago when I first heard it. And I apply it in my life. Sometimes when life can become pretty overwhelming, you don't know where to start. You might go through something traumatic or heartbreaking, and it may dim your light or dampen your spirit. And, there's a healing process with the soul healing here, for you to regain your confidence and, you know, boost your self-esteem and start feeling like yourself again, regaining your personal power and strength. When that's the case, the little simple things, just starting there to take care of yourself will help you to, start raising your vibration, boosting your energy, get you feeling good, and get you back on the right track. Okay, so that message is there for who it's for. We've been doing Soul's Journey lessons because we are also this week, for my birthday. This is my last year in my 30s. So I'm doing a lot of reflecting, going into 40. Um, so, what's different as far as my mindset, my desires, what I want out of life, what I want to do next, and just taking a look at what I've done thus far and how do I feel about it and that type of stuff. So Darren Hardy has the Compound Effect, the audio book, as well as the worksheets. And like I said, I've been introduced to it about 10 years now, from a network marketing company I was with previously. The leadership training is where I learned about it. Look at that. We got peace on the bottom of the deck. We're going to take that. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Okay. That's probably what's needed to help, restore that confidence. Okay. Um, but yes, Darren Hardy's compound effect. I do the worksheet, did the worksheets. I'm doing them again. And my answers are definitely different than they were 8 years ago when I, printed it out and it was probably around my birthday. I don't remember for sure, but I know around my birthday I get into a reflective space and place of gratitude and just like be still and process, and things, analyze, take a look at my life and so forth, reflect. So I just know my answers have changed as far as like my relationships have changed. People that may have been on the list before previously 8 years ago aren't on my list now. As far as like circle of influence and the people who I am closest with, I have the greatest level of respect and appreciation and admiration for. That type of stuff has evolved for sure because I've evolved. And I'm one of those people that don't believe in holding on to, situations, relationships, and connections that, you know, don't serve my highest and greatest good. They're holding me back or keeping me stagnant, stuck, and not being my best self. Okay. And sometimes we just outgrow people. People start relationships and, go through different life changes, relocate and move, and you don't have the same connections that you may have once had. That happens too. It's not always a bad thing why people choose to, cut people off or separate or, you know, distance happens in relationships. Okay. But with peace, like I said, the affirmation is I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. We have patience here again. Okay. We have patience and freedom both at least twice this week. Okay. Again, the affirmation is I accept that everything happens in divine order. And with freedom, we have I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Okay. Let's get one more. It's funny. I always, okay, we got discipline here that flipped over. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Okay. With courage here on the bottom of the deck. I find the inner strength. Look, that's so fascinating. We have inner strength twice. Okay. We love that. The affirmation again is I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. And we said that, the yellow, the solar plexus chakra is all about confidence, okay? Self-esteem, all of that, okay? Self-confidence. I always recommend, the yellow and the orange foods, fruit more specifically, the mangoes, the lemons, the pineapples, the different things that are good for eating and juicing, that can help boost your energy also, that's a real thing. You know. But with that being said, you know, that helps with internal cleansing, with the fruit and so forth, flushing, like your colon and making you feel lighter and better. That type of stuff can help you. Okay. 'Cause when we're constipated and not feeling our best in that regard, that can also have an effect on how we feel overall. All right. Let's see what use this deck too often, but I'm curious to see what messages I get today from our I did a reading last night with our Egyptian tarot. And that was powerful, honey. Look at that. We got the Queen of Pentacles with the Two of Pentacles. We love it already. Okay. Money, 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 money. Money. With the lovers on the bottom and the world. I'm loving this energy. I picked up this deck for a reason. But yeah, that Egyptian tarot message last night that I did is actually episode 3 of, you know, dying to live. What is it? Living to die or dying to live. I forgot my the name of my series. Did I say it right? Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, won't let me do it right. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, living to die or dying to live. I said it right. So this is episode 4 and episode 3. Like I said, I used the Egyptian tarot and closed out with an Isis oracle message that was even more powerful. I mean, I can't make this stuff up if I try. I'm just grateful to be a humble student and servant. Okay. This deck is kind of hard to shuffle, so that's why I split it. I don't think I've used it enough to break it in. Cards are kind of thick and stiff. All right. Gotta make this message quick because it's funny. I seen a post last night on Facebook where the police in the county where I live and the county next to me, and Queen of Pentacles is there again. We're gonna take that with the Ace of Swords. Okay, some sort of truth. Yeah, but the police are doing some sort of ramping up, being on the roads from like 6 a.m. today to I forgot the time they ended it within a couple days. But the purpose is to get people, I guess they said, to slow down or, to make the roads a little safer. I found that interesting. So they're basically letting us know that, we're going to be out here, we outside, slow your ass down, or we pulling you over type of thing. So I was like, okay, I don't be doing too much speeding anyway because my car insurance is already too high. I ain't gonna say I never because sometimes I be like, damn, I'm running late. I gotta get to work. But yeah, I don't try to make that a habit. I'll be like, look, I'm running late, client. I love you. Thank you for your patience. See you in a moment. But yeah, they said warning. So I shared that on the Empress page. All right, we have the Six of Wands here with the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody is victorious. Someone is receiving some sort of financial blessing for some sort of hard work, some self-determination, some personal power being executed. Someone is very supported, very victorious, very appreciated and valued in their network, in their community, in their work, their workplace, their career, their job, their business, whatever it is that they do. Okay. I'm hearing someone is getting the recognition that they deserve finally. They have been patient and, doing the work maybe more behind the scenes than in the forefront. But now there's being a moving into, the light, into the where more people are going to know their name and, you know, the value that they bring. For sure. We got Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles. This is a giver. This is someone who, um, likes to take care of people, and that's why they're so valued and appreciated. And people move mountains, for them as well. Okay, they support them, they protect them, and so forth. Whether it's out in the open or it's behind the scenes, this energy is highly protected and valued. For their contribution. What they do. They do it from the heart. I'm hearing they're very genuine. So with these wands and pentacles here, this is a very creative energy. It's probably also a healer, someone that may work in some sort of, I'm hearing like nursing, nurse aides, like a CNA, um, someone that actually cares about what they do though. They care about people. They genuinely, take care of people and want to see people healthy, happy, and well. Look at that, the sun trying to come out through the rain. I love it. Bring out the light. This is definitely someone that exudes light energy, you know, um, a great deal of vitality. People love to be around them. I'm getting this the energy that, of course, has to be mindful and be careful to not be used. Yeah, I know I was picking that up for a reason. Nine of Wands, someone that is not gonna burn out their energy or their resources from overgiving. They know how to give. The sun is lighting up. It's still raining, but it's getting brighter by the second as I'm reading this energy. I love when that happens. Like, mm. But yeah, someone that knows how to protect their energy for sure, so that they don't experience burnout from um overgiving, oversharing. Okay, that's important. We did talk about martyr energy earlier this week. It's good to serve, especially when you're a server of God. Um, but you want to make sure that in your serving, in your giving, that you are taking care of yourself and you are receiving that which you deserve as well. All right, so we got the Knight of Pentacles here. Um, this is the first, masculine energy that's showing up here. So this could be someone that is approaching this energy. Um, this could be someone who is traveling the same direction. There's some sort of journey or path, you know, that these two energies are on. And they're in a place now where they're gonna their paths are crossing potentially. Um, and they'll be collaborating, working together. Um, with the Knight of Pentacles behind, you know, the feminine energy on this in the Six of Pentacles. This is someone who may be already invested in this energy or has a desire to invest. Okay. The investment could be small initially, but it's one that could grow over time. They see this person's value and they're willing to bet their bottom dollar, their bottom last pinnacle, you know, on this person, on this energy. Um, with this card coming out with personal power and self-discipline, the Knight of Pentacles is an energy that may have like a youthful spirit, but I'm getting that they are experienced, they're mature, um, and they are responsible when it comes to their resources. Um, this is probably someone that maybe has started some sort of business, or they're like an entrepreneur. Um, I'm getting someone who is interested or invested, like they're into like investments, like stocks and um, potentially like real estate and that type of stuff. They also may invest in other people. Um, I'm also getting that they're a giver, but they're very responsible with their giving. So this is a person who, isn't just going to be throwing resources here and there and everywhere and wasting, you know, his his money, his income, his assets, but he will, share them with his loved ones, his family, to make sure that they live well, have a comfortable life, um, feel safe and secure. wherever, they live type of stuff. Um, and with this energy here, they could be potentially proposing or offering something to this feminine energy, with the Queen of Pentacles being the first thing that comes out. He definitely sees and recognizes the feminine energy's worth and value. As the Queen of Pentacles, she don't want nobody confused about who she is, and you know she knows her self-worth and value, and she knows what she deserves, and she ain't settling. She's going to wait for God to bring her what is for her. Okay. Even if that means being alone for 10 to 20 years, even if that means, you know, not engaging in, you know, intimacy and intimate, you know, that type of stuff, because she wants to, you know, with this bunny here, she knows that her energy is fertile, very fertile energy. And that's for the special person who is going to respect that, value that. If they decide to create something, whether it be a business, or organization, or life, with the bunny there, a white bunny. If they decide to create new life, that she's going to choose and wait for, her divine masculine, her counterpart, that is going to, value her body, her temple, and also make sure that their family is taken care of. That's beautiful. All right, we have the Nine of Swords. So with the Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, this Queen of Pentacles has that mindset that I just described, because of, and this could be both the Queen and the Knight of Pentacles, their energy. That could be something that they share in common, and something that is going to bring them together, I'm hearing, potentially. But with this underneath, peace and inner strength, you know, um, this energy, or these energies, have had their share of restlessness, sleepless nights, stress, being overburdened, being without, experiencing lack. Yes, they may be abundant, now, and may have always been, but it may not have always been seen to the eye, and relevant and easily recognizable, um, for whatever reason. Life changes, things happen, and so forth. But these energies, I keep saying these because I feel like they're mirroring one another, but it has helped them to develop a mental strength that is like no other. So these are people who think before they act. Okay. Um, they're very mentally stable. They have good mental health. Um, they know how to overcome. You know, um, I'm hearing like tactful diplomacy. Like, they know how to get answers and resolve situations tactfully, amicably. Um, I don't know why these vocabulary words are coming to me. Yeah, with the high priestess here, this is someone that is, um, very aware, very knowledgeable, of the physical and the spiritual world. This is someone who helps and supports others. I'm getting someone that might have some sort of platform or um, business. This could be someone that works from home also. You see, she has a little curtain in the background with her laptop on her lap. This is someone who is very creative, a creator. They are able to give, that their gift of giving starts with what they know. They share knowledge, wisdom, insight. I'm hearing this could be somebody like a reader, a spiritual advisor. Um, this could be someone who has like some sort of online store, like a spiritual store. They provide and sell like healing tools like oils, crystals, um, jewelry. I'm getting even modest apparel, a woman that um, values modesty and encourages and inspires other women to embrace it as well. That's very interesting. This could be someone that actually models modest apparel as well. We have the Eight of Wands. So there's some sort of, that's crazy because on the bottom of the deck, you have the Five of Wands, the Seven of Wands. Look at this. Let me take this cards out, okay? Someone might have caused a whole bunch of conflict, confusion, some ruckus, all these wands here, and maybe trying to escape and get away here on this motorcycle here with this Eight of Wands, okay? A feminine energy for sure. This could also be some sort of clique, a group of, it's been coming up in the collective readings here lately. That's why I'm seeing it so strong, and I gotta close with this. But um someone has been doing spell work, um, like dark magic, to try to steal someone's creative life force energy. Um, they have ganged up with other people, potentially even paid other people, other feminine energies, other females to help them. That's where I said, this Nine of Wands energy here that I picked up with this Queen of Pentacles that is now victorious, that has overcome this drama, this confusion, this slander, gossip. What else is this? This people telling lies and mismanaging, you know, this energy's name and then having to protect themselves. Okay. A guarded and protective energy that has always known the truth of who they were, and they knew that the truth would come out eventually. I did see, what was that, the Ace of Swords that I saw on the bottom of the deck with the Queen of Pentacles earlier that I didn't pull out, and I said the truth was here. The High Priestess also, the Nine of Swords is with the Queen of Pentacles. So, like I said, this energy has most definitely had their share of mental conflict, confusion, sleepless, restless nights, and just praying, and uh, praying to God to help them overcome this drama, these issues that you know were things that they couldn't handle, that were potentially going on behind the scenes. I've gotten like group chats and um, just like cyberbullying, and just someone has been really persistent on blocking a certain energy their success, maybe a relationship or connection, but that's done. And that's where that personal power was needed, that soul healing was needed, and that inner strength that we started out with. Okay. Someone has done the work to restore their confidence, their balance, peace of mind. It required patience and self discipline, but they did it. And subsequently, that Knight of Pentacles is now a King of Pentacles, and we have counterparts here. So, as we got in the reading last night, the divine sun child, this Knight of Pentacles could be the offspring, could become the offspring of, the Queen and King of Pentacles. I love when this stuff happens like that. I can't do it on purpose. Like I saw all that them wands. We literally got the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of wands here. So somebody has experienced a great deal of burnout, um, just being exhausted. I was picking up. I said earlier. I mean, I said in the beginning of the reading that I did last night. I'm doing intuitive deck, the soul cards. The first thing I got was death magic. And that's what this is. Somebody has most definitely been trying to assassinate someone's character, you know, um, lies, lies, lies. It's all I'm hearing, slander, gossip, stuff that is now coming to light. And what was blocked is unblocked. Archangel Michael has come through and cleared the air, has protected, these two individuals separately while, this union has been coming together. And it's time. It's definitely time. So I'm glad that we got that message. Okay. I'm glad that we got that message before I get up out of here. Look, these decks be speaking to me. I just love, look, justice. We got justice here on the bottom of the deck. So justice will be served. All right. So have a phenomenal day. And until next time, peace and love.